Major Marvel Future Revolution press conference happening in the US tonight, but we got the details for you in this video. You don't have to wait for the press conference. We got them right now, plus a few extra tidbits of information that are not going to be revealed in tonight's press conference. We got them for you in this video. Plus, there is an expected global launch date. Pre-registration, you can do that right now. We're going to talk about how, and it looks like soft launch is happening tomorrow for Future Revolution. We're talking about all of that, guys, all the details, all the information, dates, and all that stuff. And if you're ready for that Marvel Future Revolution hype, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Oh, what is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel, and I hope your hype level is as high as mine for Future Revolution, because we're getting so close to the soft launch date. We're getting so close to the global launch date, and we got so much more information from the Korean press conference last night, and we're going to discuss all of it in this video, all the major points that will probably be discussed in the US press conference today, and a few interesting tidbits that they discussed in the Korean conference, press conference, that they're not going to discuss in the US conference tonight. So without further ado, let's just go take a look at the footage. We're going to start with the footage of the trailer that's going to be in the game. I think when you start the game, just kind of a information on some of the stories. So without further ado, let's go check that out, guys. Here it is. Convergence. Yes, it is coming, guys. The convergence. Lovely. MODOK, Spider-Man. Oh, his spider senses are tingling. There's some of the combat. No. One Vision. He's a savior. Fighting for all of the Earth's guys, and that is the major story from Future Revolution. Let's move on in the press conference as they're looking at some of the other worlds, some of the other locations that you could do battle in here. And we see Asgard, we see Hydra America, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. We see more Asgard again there. I think that is Asgard. We see Vision there, and just more of these screenshots in the battle. Let's skip ahead a little bit more so we can talk about some of these worlds here. All right, and then as we go forward, this is Hydra America, and what this location is, if Hydra managed to win World War II and they took over New York City, this is kind of the theme in Hydra America here. We see some of the more brutal type of architecture that we see, and now we see Midgardia, and this is the Asgard type plane. If the Asgardians took over a world on Earth, this is kind of how I guess it would be. Now we're taking a look at New Stark City. This is a city that Tony's founded after the convergence. This is the home of Omega Flight, your main team in the game, and this is how they're going to stop the impending doom with that team. All right, and this is Xandar Earth, and this is the alternate reality if Thanos managed to destroy Xandar and the Nova Corps move their civilization towards Earth. This is what would look like. And last but not least, Sakaar. This is ruled by Maestro. This is another area that you could do battle in. And these are the major areas of battle that you could do battle in Marvel Future Revolution. We've seen them through some screenshots in Twitter. We've seen some of the gameplay there. And yeah, this is what it's going to look like. Let's take a look at some of the characters. We see some of the characters here. We see, actually, we're going to take a look at their costumes. Let's go over to the website. They had a bunch of updates on the website, and I think it's easier to see all of the costumes that are available on the website when we go there. So boom, this is what the new Marvel Future Revolution website looks like. And if we go all the way to the top, this is where you guys can pre-register either on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you can get one of the costumes there when you pre-register. Just enter your email, and as soon as it is live, you will get notified in your email. All right, but as far as the costumes, we've seen some of these on Twitter, and as we take a look at Star-Lord, there's a bunch of different costumes here. These are all on the website, so I'm not going to go through them too detailed and break them down. But yeah, you could look at the different alternate palette swaps that you can do for this Star-Lord costume. We did see Swarm in a previous video, but let me go through this really quickly so you can see some of the costumes in case you missed that video. We see some of the palette swaps that she has as well. These are some really nice costumes. The costume department is doing a very good job in Future Revolution as we take a look at some of the costumes for Captain Marvel. We have not seen these. These are kind of far. These were not shown at the press conference, but you can see all the different costumes that they have for Captain Marvel. This looks like a gladiator, something like a different version of the Sakaar version of her costume. And if you look, all of these characters, they have like different costumes that correspond to the different worlds that we saw. Hydra America, Midgardia, New Stark City. Oh, look at that costume of Black Widow. That is looking very strong. Xanarth and Sakaar, and they look like they have costumes that correspond with these. We take a look at some of the Doctor Strange's costumes. We have not seen this revealed on Twitter. These are looking nice, and we see some of the corresponding costumes. Oh, that white, that's his pimp costume, that white cape there. I might use that if you have Doctor Strange. We see, oh, there's that white one again. That looks pretty cool. All right, Captain America. We've not seen all of his costumes. Let's like to take a look at this. Oh, actually, we did. We did see this on Twitter a couple days ago. We see him throwing his shield, the different costume color combinations. And all of these costumes, guys, you can mix and match these different pieces of the costume. So if you wanted that cool spiky head Iron Man, you could use that with this costume. Different color combinations. There's so many different ways you could customize your characters. I think they said over 400 million character combinations for their costumes available at launch. That's the number that's sticking to my head. That's a pretty cool. Oh, a pink Spider-Man, a yellow Spider-Man. So much cool stuff. All right, let's get back to what was revealed in the trailer. Let's take a look at some of the other gameplay aspects that we got here. Let's skip ahead and of that Korean costume. All right, here we go. The battle aspects of the Marvel Future Revolution as we take a look at the trailer that is playing in the background. Here we see it live. There we go. Oh, and we're going to take a look at some more combat systems. We have some mastery combat systems. We have some more other game modes that we're going to take a look at it as well. Yes, it's you could slot in a lot of different skills for your characters. You could change skills. There's an area that you could go, kind of like Marvel Future Fight, that you could test out the skills, see what they look like, and you could experiment with the different combos that you have with your characters. Look, awesome animations. I'm so looking forward to this. I cannot wait for tomorrow to start to play this. And I'm gonna figure out how to get into that soft launch, and I'm gonna help you guys get to figure out how to get in that soft launch as well as you take a look at these combat. As soon as I figure it out, we will have a video up on the channel, so you guys can figure that out. Awesome combinations there as we skip ahead to some of the. Yes. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the animation here. We're going to take a look at how you got the mastery system. This is not going to be covered in the press conference as far as I'm aware for the US tonight, but it was covered in the Korean press conference. So let me go over this a little bit more. So like I said, this is the mastery system, and you could build different versions of these characters. And this is the area that you could go in and test your skills out. So we see the different skills that Iron Man has here. Boom. There's some nice moves. And this is his big basic, or his big move right here. This one right there. I'm not sure how they're going to balance out these moves. All right. And then soon we're going to see the mastery system. There we see some more of his skills, testing these out. And this is the mastery system right here. This is where you could use the different versions of your costume. And this is the part that's not going to be covered in the US press conference tonight. Like I said, these are different. You could experiment with different combos, and you could use different builds. There's a build for one-on-one situations where you're focus fire. This is what we're going to go over here. And we see these different types of weapons. Down at the bottom here is his micro missiles. We see some extra firepower and his arc gauntlets. I don't know Korean, but this was explained to me well before that press conference last night. And you got different builds. We're going to look at a different one-on-one. This is a build more for one-on-one situations and allow you to take on those single bosses, those big targets. And that right there is an anti-tank missile. We see a guided missile, and this next one is going to be a ballistic barrage, and this is very good for taking on one-on-one characters. Let's go take a look at the footage in just a little bit. Here we go. And here is that first move. Boom, the first part of the combo. Second part of the combo. And then here's that third part of the combo, destroying that enemy. Boom, there he goes. All right, so that is the focus fire, and this is more of a crowd control build for Iron Man here. It's going to give wider damage, and what you're going to use on this one here. And I'm not sure how this works. If this is something that you select, this is preset modes that you just select this, and this is the combos that you do. But this is Napalm Bomb, Incendiary Bomb, and a ground pound. And this is what's going to help you with crowd control, taking on multiple versions of enemies, allowing you to do wider damage to that feral fire. Here we go. Here's that first combo. Here's the second combo, and then the third combo. Boom, finishing off all of those enemies. All those nerds are getting destroyed. So for this is an interesting way you could have the same moveset, but you're doing different results with these costumes here. And as we see more of these costumes covering them, you could use different types of the different builds for each character. So you could use that same character in different ways. So you could use either a focus fire build for Iron Man, a crowd control build for Iron Man. With Doctor Strange, you could have more crowd control, more healing. There's a bunch of different builds that you could do for these characters, and I'm very curious to see. And that's going to be very important when you're starting off in battle, talking to the people that you're going to be teaming up with, what kind of build they have on their characters. So, like, is your Doctor Strange more of a crowd control Doctor Strange, or is he more of a healer? Are you going to be more focus fire, taking on single enemies, or are you taking on more multiple enemies? And as we see some of these costume combinations here, all these costumes, you could customize them. You could do different parts. Oh, we saw that original Iron Man outfit there. We're seeing some more of these costumes for Spider-Man, Iron Man. We saw a black Spider-Man. That looked pretty cool. We see some of these different costumes for Captain America as well, these costume combinations. And these might actually have more than the website there as we look at these. Some nice costumes for Captain Marvel there. And if you do the pre-registration, you will get to choose one of the costumes available. Let me know who you're going to choose. We see some of the Black Widow costumes. We see some of the customizations there with the boots. You could use different pieces of the costume, and you could change each of those colors as well. We see some different boots for Spider-Man, just sneakers, and his more iron builds and more combinations for Iron Man as well. So a lot of cool things you could do as far as customizing your combat, as far as customizing the look of your characters. We see some of the looks for Storm as well. A lot of different cool things that you could do in Future Revolution, which is why I'm looking forward to this so much. All right, so these are the different game modes that we're looking at here. A few different game modes. The first one that we have is the Blitz and Raid game modes. You can have up to 4 players. You don't need all 4 players. You could go in by yourself or with 2 players or 3. You can have up to 4 though. And what this is where you're gonna fight waves of enemies with a boss at the end. We saw Thanos there. We saw Red Skull. We saw Maestro. There's a Loki that we're not gonna see here, but we see an Ultron as well. And there's also voice acting as well. We see Kingpin and we see Apocalypse. All right, so that is the Blitz and Raid mode. And there's going to be voices, like I said, and there's going to be waves of enemies with a boss, and you're doing different things based on your levels. So you might have a lot of enemies that you're fighting, and then a stronger boss, different things based on your levels. So that is 2 of the game modes, Blitz and Raids, doing accomplishing different modes here. This is the Special Operations, which we saw teased on social media for a little bit, and you have different missions here. Like some of them is to defend a tower or to rescue the civilization. It looks like you're trying to destroy a tower on this one here. Actually, it looks like they're trying to destroy the tower. You're trying to stop them from destroying the tower, but you're doing a lot of your superhero type things here. And in this game mode, this Special Operations, it's all skill. So nothing else is going to be taken into account. All your other things that you're built up on your characters, your different skills that you built up. It's all going to be a level playing field in these Special Operations missions, as we see them going into one of the Hydra missions there, looking very cool, trying to save some civilians. A lot of different superhero stuff that they're doing. We see Armin Zola there. We saw him teased as a bad guy on Twitter a little while ago, and this is a major game mode right here. This is the Omega War. This is a 10 versus 10 battle. It's a PvP battle, so you're fighting against other players. So I guess this is the big, you need teams of 4 and you need teams of 10. So organizing with your alliances there, as we take a look at more of the stuff with Omega War, different variations here that you're using. It's going to be very chaotic. You're going to need some teamwork, and they're going to take each other on. A and B, they're going to try to go over this point, and you're just big, confusing melee types battles. This is the big PvP, type battle. Again, this is called Omega War, and it's 10 versus 10 in this game mode. Super confusing what's going on. Just a lot of chaos going on all over the field. And looks to be very fun. I remember some of the real-time PvP stuff that was done in Future Fight, and that was done very well. And if we look at it, this is the last but not least section. This is the Dark Zone. This is a 50-player massive free-for-all combat, and this is kind of a mix between PvP content and PvE content. You have different teams, and I believe the teams are teams of 10, but you have the same objective. But you could steal other people's stuff. You got to take on these bosses, but it's kind of like some other games that you may have experienced. This is supposed to be real end game content though. So everybody has their own mission trying to take on a boss, and you're competing with each other. It looks like it's 4 teams, so it may be more than 10 players on a team. But yes, this is the chaotic game mode called Dark Zone, where you got 50 players on a team at the same time. All right, so it looks like you're taking on a few different objectives. Then you're taking on one main boss, and here's Lofi, the father of Sylvie and Loki in this series right now. But yeah. So then you're going to take on this major boss, trying for some rewards, trying not to let your other teams get those rewards before you do. That's where I think the PvP and PvE aspect come into play, because you're taking on the AI right here, but you're also competing. All right, and one last thing before I go. If you do the registration right now, not on the website, but if you do it in the iOS store or the Android store on your device, you'll get this message of an expected release date for Marvel Future Revolution, and it says 30th of September 2021. And yes, so hopefully it comes sooner than that. If you're in Canada, it looks like there's gonna be a soft launch tomorrow. So we're gonna be figuring this out. We're gonna be covering it for you on this channel, how you guys could get into that soft launch and play this thing early if you want. I know I wanna play early. I don't wanna wait till September 30th, but that is the official global launch date. As of right now, it could change. It's expected date. It's not an official date, but that is it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you figuring out what is Future Revolution is all about, and hopefully gets you set for this press conference happening in the US tonight. If there's any other questions, let me know in the comments. I will be back with more Future Revolution content, and hopefully with a solution on how you could participate in this soft launch, guys. Yes, just subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching, guys. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go, and I will see you guys next time. Check out some of my other videos. Check me out on social media, and have a great rest of your day, guys. ValleyFlyin out.